Oreoluwa Orefale is a Facebook certified digital marketing professional, copywriter, personal brand strategist, and entrepreneur. Her love for design led to extensive hours of experimentation on Canva, alongside other design certification programs, which has grown into a thriving skill where she now solves everyday design problems for business owners through the use of Canva. She believes that good design speaks without words. Currently, she works as digital marketing lead at Zolt Academy, helping entrepreneurs increase their visibility and build thriving businesses. To teach us how to elevate our visual content with Canva, please welcome Oreoluwa Orefale.
Hey, I am really excited to be here. Whoosh! To everyone who is live, thank you for taking the time to come here. We're about to delve into my favorite topic of all time. Like I cannot I cannot wait to share with you guys. Like I think to a large extent, I would say Canva has been Canva has been a lifesaver for me. For the longest time, okay, let me give you a bit of a backstory. Um, I started using Canva when I launched my business. So everyone who has me on their WhatsApp, I mean, I have family and friends here. So everyone who has me on their WhatsApp, I mean, shared I shared that story recently that my journey with Canva started when I needed to start creating graphics for my e-commerce business, then my bridal store. And then I remember that for a long time I would struggle with creating content. Like it was the most frustrating thing ever. I saw all these big people doing all these big things. I saw all these things that I really liked and loved so much, but I just couldn't do them. I couldn't figure it out. I would try, sit down, try to copy some of these things, but it just did not work out. I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand it, right? But thank God, few years later, I now work with Zolt Academy. I mean, you can see my shirt here, and to a very large extent, I handle the designs for our creatives and designs for our sales pages, and the designs for ad creatives. A lot of things that we do. And what I'm going to be sharing with you today are the things that I learned that helped me, transition from making unattractive content that did not properly position my brand to be the kind of brand I really wanted it to be, to learning how to create beautiful, attractive, content that position me at the top. I mean, sometimes once it's my content, I'm like, oh my God, are you a designer? I'm like, huh? Okay. But I mean, you get that reaction sometimes when you are self-taught, right? So yes, I'm self-taught, so that means everything I am saying I have handled, I have practiced, and I have been there. If you're frustrated, I have been there. If Canva has ever hung on you, like you spend 1 hour creating just one thing, I have been there. Whatever frustration you feel, I have been there. So today, I'm going to walk you through how you can elevate your visual content with Canva. So I think we've had a brief introduction, but let me just introduce myself again. My name is Oreoluwa. Currently, I'm the digital marketing lead at Zolt Academy, and I'm a personal brand strategist. I am an entrepreneur and things. Yes, I'm a YouTuber. I'm about to switch my YouTube now to a more of an educational. That's I am. I function in different capacity. To be honest, I'm grateful for this privilege. Things I have learned on this journey with you guys. So let us just skip the long story. Game. So you know how people tell you that if you see an orange if you want to buy orange from a market woman, how some people want to buy orange from a market woman, they will price it so much, but when they enter a supermarket, they would pay a lot more for that orange. Some people like to act like they are noble and they'll be like, no, I buy stuff from a market woman. I don't care about how she packages it. I even leave my change with that. Let's see how noble you are right now. So these two brands, which one are you likely to pay more for? I would like to see your responses in the comment section. Which one are you likely to pay more for? I know we all already know Starbucks. I mean, an unbranded cup of coffee. What do we want to do with it? You might shock me. Which are you more likely to pay for? Let me know in the comment section. So I'm going to move on to the next one. So these two gorgeous pairs of shoes. One is unbranded. It looks cute, but it's unbranded. One has the Nike logo. Which are you more likely to pay more for? If I come and tell you, oh, this white shoe is $1,000, or I tell you this other shoe is $1,000, which would you actually pay for? Let me know in the comment section. So we move. So this is Zavandi jewelry, and then this is, ring from the internet. And I tell you, oh, okay, each of them costs $500 to get. Which would you pay that $500 for? And let's move on. So, which out of everything, I would really like to know, which of these brands would you want to be like? Which of them? Somewhere in your mind, irrespective of the response you put in the comment section, excuse me, maybe because you wanted to look noble, which of them do you want to be like? Which of them do you want your brand to be seen like? When people are having this kind of conversations, where do you want people to place your brand? I hope that with this, I'm beginning to imbibe in you why you cannot play with the visual aspect of your content. I'm beginning to imbibe in you the reason why you can't say, oh, what I'm saying is already important. What I'm saying is already so good. People are going to listen. And then you don't put effort into the content, right? I mean, the social media. I mean, Emily had this amazing session. Emily explained, that we have three different formats in which you can post content. But any form of content you're posting, especially your written content, it goes ahead of you. It says a lot about you. It is what people would see. They will not see you physically every time. It is what people will see, right? How do you want people to perceive it? So here's my goal for today's class. Here is my goal. It's very simple, to help you understand why elevated visual content is not an option. It is not an option, but a must, right? And I had to emphasize that a lot of times, just so you could see it enough times to know that it is super, super, super important, that you cannot post or you cannot create and put out ugly content out there. It represents you. It is you. The way that content looks is the way people see you, right? This is why people spend so much money doing brand photo shoots and all of that, right? But you know what? To further dive deep into it, this is my actual goal for you today. Aside from helping you understand why elevated visual content is not an option, I want you to understand the elements that must be considered to create a visually appealing content. What that means is, creating content that looks good is not magic. Today, we're going to dissect what makes content that look good. And then we're going to be diving deep into the basics of Canva. I'm going to be showing you, how you can start out with Canva. I remember how Canva used to feel and look intimidating, like I was scared. I remember getting the platform for the first time, and it felt so overwhelming, right? So I hope that, with the little time we have here, I think I have about 45 minutes here, about the little time we have, I'll be able to go over the basics. And for the last part, we're going to show you how to use templates to create a coherent looking feed. Basically, in my own mind, I am going to show you how to use templates to not kill yourself. You're a business owner. There's so many things trying to take a bite out of your time. You do not have 1 hour to spend on Canva. There are other parts of your business. There's sales, there's marketing. Content is important, but it's just one part. So how can we cut that time that you use to create content and help you speed it up so that you are 100% on both sides? You're not dropping one ball here on one ball there. So that is part of what we're going to be talking about here. So are you ready? I mean, Rihanna is not talking for me. Are you ready? Are you ready? So what can happen when you choose to elevate your visual content? When you choose to stop putting out drab content, when you choose to stop putting out, certain things and pay more attention to how you look on Mr. Mark Zuckerberg's, what's his name again? Whatever his name is, his internet. What can happen when you choose to elevate your content? We're going to watch a video now that will give you an example.
Wondered how much people would pay for our shoes if they didn't know they were our shoes. So we rebranded for a weekend.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy ACL Official back with another video. Now before I go ahead and play you the rest of that video clip, let me give you a bit of context into what's going on. So obviously everyone knows luxury brands have very high prices. For example, you've got brands like Christian Louboutin selling trainers for £2,000. You've got Balenciaga selling the triple S's for around 700. And over time it's pretty much become the norm to equate high prices with luxury products. Now, 3 months ago, Payless, which is a low-cost footwear retailer over in the US, they went ahead and tested this theory. What they did was rebrand their entire store and the name, and they also increased their prices a lot, and the results are quite interesting. So what I'm going to do now is play you the rest of the clip, and I'll be back in a minute.
We at Payless wondered how much people would pay for our shoes if they didn't know they were our shoes. So we rebranded for a weekend. We built a fake luxury store, filled it with avant-garde sculptures and displays. We even hired a full team of sales associates. Then we filled all the shelves with Payless shoes and jacked up our prices as much as 1,800%. And finally, we gave it what you might call a fancier name. Welcome to Palessi.
Palessi is just such high quality, high fashion. It's taking your shoe game like up to the next level.
It's like very, European, very, upscale.
The guests at the Palessi grand opening party had no idea any of these shoes were from Payless.
It looks really well made. I love a heel that's kind of chunky because it means you can like jump up and down, do some backflips maybe.
It's a stunner. It's one of those shoes that you're just going to get compliments on over and over again.
Elegant, sophisticated, and versatile.
For me to experience this as an Italian designer is amazing.
I could definitely wear this to like a Met Gala dinner.
Just think it's so unique.
I would definitely spend $295 on a pump like this.
I would pay like $300-400 for these shoes for sure.
I'd probably spend about $500 on this.
Compliments are great and all, but would these fashionista influencer types open up their wallets for our shoes? We watched from a room backstage as our first customer approached the register. We all celebrated the first sale, but then we witnessed more and more shoes selling. Shoes sold for $250, $400, and even $600. But before any of them left, we let them know the shoes were actually from Payless.
What? No way.
You've got to be kidding me.
Shut up. Are you serious? No. Wait, did I just pay too much?
I love Christian Siriano. Oh, I would support this.
Anyone who bought the shoes got them from us as a free gift, but we proved that they could sell for over 10 times the normal Payless price. Now anyone can come into Payless and get these same exact shoes for as low as $19.99.
I am very, very happy with this purchase and I will be going to Payless.
Now, we all know that was probably a lie. She probably just said that for the cameras. I doubt very much she will be shopping at Payless, mainly because as that clip just showed, people care a lot more about the brand image and in some cases the prices, more so than they do about the actual product and the quality of it. Even though this is nothing new, it does make you think a bit more about the whole situation. So if we look at it in reverse and start with a luxury brand, for example Gucci, take a few of their products, for example the Wash logo t-shirt or the Ace trainers, you'll see that they're not really luxury items, they're just priced very highly, but because of Gucci's brand image, they'll get categorized as luxury products and a lot of buyers just buy them because of that. This won't be the case for every luxury brand, of course. Some do have legitimate reasons as to why their prices are quite high. Last year, Business Insider spoke directly to Dave Mosquito, who's the co-owner of Leather Spa. They work directly with Christian Louboutin, and he shed some light on why the shoes might be quite expensive.
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into the design of a shoe and the making of a shoe. Most importantly, I think, is who's designing it, who's manufacturing it, and also what materials they're using to make the shoes.
Hi, and so we're back. So how did that make you feel? I mean, that just goes to say that with a little bit of polishing, with a little bit of upgrade, you can project the kind of image you want to your clients, right? And that's what we're going to be walking through right now, how you can elevate your content using Canva. I mean, this time we're talking about the written medium of content, so let's get right to it. Now, what will happen if you choose to elevate your content? First, you build trust. I mean, those people walked into Palessi for the first time and they were willing to dish out hundreds of dollars. So, I mean, they elevated their brand, they got trusted, and they got positioned as, top choice. Now, another thing you do is you increase your brand value, and I don't think I need to say more about that. Obviously, people pay more when they perceive you as more, right? And then you increase the attraction factor. Trust me, those people would have gone home and bragged about their Palessi shoes and got more of their friends to talk about it. So that's what happens when you elevate your content. That's what happens when you put out, better looking content. So let's break down what is attractive content. Attractive content or great content evokes emotions, right? People don't see it and say, oh, the score is so good. I mean, it's so arranged. People don't notice. They ignore the details and they're just mesmerized, or they're just caught in, and sometimes it's very easy to ignore because, I mean, it is what they expect it to be. But unattractive content will evoke a reaction. I mean, if you ever seen content online, I just go, what's this? Or you just scroll immediately without even thinking about it because okay, what is this person doing? Or maybe it's a coach, and the person puts out something and makes you doubt, and then the person tells you maybe $1,000, and it makes you doubt if you're actually going to pay this person. I'm not going to pay this person $1,000. Their graphics looks like this. Can I trust them enough to know what they're saying? I mean, I don't know if you get that. If that happens to me, that happens to me, right? If I'm going to pay you a lot of money for something, I expect you to look the part, right? So even if you're not a luxury brand, right, you still want people to place value on what you do. And that is what elevated content is going to do. So most people think that people are born with a talent for creating attractive content. I mean, you wake up in the morning and your content is just looking so good. That's not what happens. What really happens, and what I got to discover and what transformed my content, was that I discovered that good design follows a set of principles and rules. The same way you have the alphabet for creating words and sentences, the same way you have word maths for solving certain mathematical problems, you also have principles and rules for creating good design. So let's get right into it. Now, the principles, we're about to delve into it, and they're called the principles of design. You've probably noticed it one or two, you've seen it come to play one or two times in this slide, but because you were not conscious about it, you did not know that it existed. So, going to take you through that. First, proximity. Now, um, proximity helps create organization in your design. Proximity simply means that elements that are together are grouped together. Now, you can see proximity come to place in your business card. How does your business card usually look? You have this very big name at the top. And I'm going to give you a visual example, right? You have this very big name at the top. And then at the bottom, on the left-hand side, you have contact information. On the other side, you have some other form of information. You see, they are grouped and arranged according to, the different information. And I'm going to show you how that comes into place, right? So now we have these two different designs in front of us. This design has 24/7 COVID emergency hotline. And here it talks about the numbers, the phone number to call, and it groups this here. If you notice, this text is not close to this place because there are different pieces of information. This is the title. This is the information you want to get. And this is another form of information you want to get. And to further break it down, they used a line to divide it. So what this means is that if you have different groups of information on your design, you don't clump them up together. You use a little bit of space to separate one piece of information from another. So the title and the body text will have a bit more space than body text to body text. And by body text, I mean the normal text. Imagine you're writing on the Microsoft Word document. You have your title and you have your regular text, right? So that regular text is what I'm calling the body text. So the title will have a little bit more space in between it and the body text than one body text to another body text. So in this case, this is the title. In this case, this is the title, right? And to just show you how design looks like when we don't have proximity, we equally space everything. I don't know about you, but this is disturbing my eyes. Like, I'm trying to figure out what is what here. Now, the thing is, these design things are so psychological that they are ingrained. You expect it to just be done. That is why when a design does not look good, you know it doesn't look good, but you can't really figure out what exactly is wrong, and you can't fix it. So this is how we fix it, right? This is the headline. This is body text, but there's nothing to show us that it is different. This one stands on. So like, is this a different piece of information? Is this a different piece of information? Is this a different piece of, like, why are these so scattered, right? So we're going to put this in order. This is what we would get: the headline, the body that is grouped together because, I mean, it represents the same information, and this. So let's move on. So our next design principle is white space. And what I'm simply trying to explain here is that space is a part of design. And I'm going to show you how now. This is the same design in two places. This one has this text, it's super large. This has this text and it's just in one corner. Now, some people would feel like, I know there's so much space. I need to fill up the space. No. Space is a part of the design. When you give your one of the things you need to understand is that when you create content, when you create these things, you are guiding the eyes of your user, right? This disturbs my eye. It doesn't guide me. When you give content space, you give the eyes somewhere to rest. That's the first place my eyes go to. I can see that that's what the person wants me to see, right? And there's adequate space around for it not to look overwhelming. But in this case, it looks overwhelming. Like I'm like, why is it so large? So great design is not necessarily in your face. If you know how to use the principles well, you will not need to make something overly big to pass a point. I was able to pass a point here by by still leaving space around my design. Then I was able to pass the point by making this super large, right? So utilize space in your design. That you have space, extra space is a good thing. It is a good thing. If you notice, luxury brands use a lot of space. It will elevate your content. Like you take your content to like the next level. Let's move on. So hierarchy is a way to visually rank your content. So like I said, in design, you are guiding the user's eye, right? So hierarchy could happen in two ways, right? I can, for example, on a web page, what you want people to see first, you put it at the top of the web page. What you want people to see second, you put it at the bottom. That way, that's because it's a web page. But on the design, because we are being creative, we might not want to just arrange everything straight up like that. So what we do is that we ask ourselves, what do I want this user to see first? And then we find a way to ensure that that is what they see first. In the case of this design on my right, I want people to see interior design first. That's the important part of design, right? So I make it bigger and I put it in all caps. So when you see this design, the first place your eyes go to, or the first place my eyes go to, interior design. Then I logo. Then I know text on that. Then I'm like, oh, okay, learn more. Okay, I can learn more. But when I see this one on the left, the first thing I see is learn more. Then I see logo. Then why is design so small? It makes me wonder what is it that this person wants me to see? What's going on? Right? So you see how the size of your text can affect how your viewer sees your content and can affect the overall look. This content does not look good simply because what is most important was not given its place. And this looks better. I mean, it's the same. Most of what is on both of them is the same, right? That is just the difference there. So hierarchy. What is most important? How can I make it look important? How do I want to guide the user's eye? That is hierarchy. And part is just a bit below. I might start to go really fast. I want us to cover a lot within the small time that we have. So repetition, repeating fonts, colors, and shapes in your design. Now, I'm going to illustrate here, right? I have this design. Then my 50% is in one that's one particular. Then my 30% is in another side. Then the 20% is even in a different font. And I'll be explaining what the font is later. But if right, think of it, like using Times New Roman when we use Microsoft Word and all those other fonts. So that is what the font is. And this 10% is also a different font. Now, what actually is wrong with this design is the lack of repetition. Repetition will make your design look professional. So this person is to ask him, his or herself, what exactly are my brand fonts? And then take those fonts and repeat them. Do you understand? Imagine the person put this shape and then next puts a circle and then next puts a square. It's going to look chaotic. It's going to look quite chaotic. So repetition comes to play in design a lot. Repeating the style of your design, repeating the type of the color that you're using. For example, the colors here are pastel colors. The person didn't put a pastel color here and then put a sharp color there. You understand? So when you think of it, just think of the fact that you have to repeat the main elements that make up your design. And this is a perfect example, do you understand, of what good design looks like with repetition. Now, alignment is something I see people do wrong a lot in design, right? I need, I would, I don't know why this is not moving fast. I don't know why this is not moving fast. Okay, fine. Let me just explain to you what alignment is. When you look at both designs, what can you see that is wrong? I mean, maybe because of my experience, my eyes immediately go to the fact that why is this thing standing aside? Like, I don't see the place. I don't see, why are they not on a straight line? Why are they not on a straight line? Now, there are three types of alignment. And if you work with either Google Docs or Microsoft Word, you know these types of alignments. You either have the center alignment where everything stands at the center on a straight line, or you have the left alignment where everything stays on the left, or you have the other type of alignment where everything is right aligned. Yeah. Now, this doesn't follow any form of alignment. Everything is different, right? For a design to look good, it needs to be aligned, right? And it needs to be an intentional process, not by mistake. So, am I making this left aligned? If I'm going to make it left aligned, let me make it left aligned. Order is very, I've noticed one thing you would probably have noticed is that design and order, they go hand in hand, right? So if this is good, this needs to be arranged for it to look good. And if you can see what we have here on the right hand side, just the mere fact that it's on a straight line just makes it look so good. And I want to point you to proximity. Now, I know we talked about proximity and using space to separate things, but I just want to point it out here too. If you notice the text here and the call to action, the text that's telling people what to do next, no more, we have more space in between them, right? And that's because they are different. It's not the same thing. This is me explaining something to you. This is me giving you a call to action. This is me telling you what to do. There's space. Do you understand? But within the headline and the body text, we don't have so much space. So I hope proximity is proximity. I've been able to explain both proximity and alignment here. So let's move on to the next one. Balance. When you think of balance, think of on a seesaw. I hope all of us understand what a seesaw is. Think of two people balancing on a seesaw. Your design needs to be visually balanced for it to look good, for it to look elevated. For example, this design, the weights, like the things, the size of things I can see on the right and the size of this image just balances each other. They look good because this is a long piece of text. This is a long piece of text. Meanwhile, on your left hand side, you have a small piece of text, and then you have this image, and then you have this extra text here. It looks imbalanced, right? Just give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. Excuse me. It looks imbalanced, and it just gets you wondering. Like your eyes immediately spot that there's something wrong here, but you cannot tell what it is. Right? It is when we look to the right, we can now see, oh, there's just so much going on the left. It almost looks like it is dragging the page, and then the right is so free. So balance is important in design. Very, very, very important in design. And you can have symmetrical balance. You can have asymmetrical balance where one thing looks bigger than the other. In the end, there just has to be something that gets them to look balanced, such that what's on the left does not look heavier than what's on the right, and vice versa. So another very important element which was the reason why we used a different color, is color. It is color, and color is one of the most abused principle of design that I have seen so far. A lot of people think, I should just pick a color I like. Nobody should control me. Nobody should tell me what to do. I like hot pink, and I'm a wellness brand, so let me use hot pink. Meanwhile, color has a psychological effect on people, right? It's not a physical, it's not a logical thing. It's psychological. So you can't even tell it. You can't tell by the look on their faces, but it has done what it wants to do. And we all know that emotions are powerful. Human beings are emotional beings. They are not logical beings, right? And then as a brand, you want to cultivate a strong emotional connection with your customers. You want your customers to see a color and then they're thinking about you. The same way we see MTN, we see this brand, we see that brand, and we're thinking, oh, we see this color and we think about this brand immediately, even if the logo is not there. That's the same way you want to cultivate a strong emotional connection with your customers. And then, excuse me, how customers feel about your brand has more pull than how they think. So you might be thinking, it's just color. No, it's not just color. It has an effect. So how do you pick the right color for your brand? Or rather, how do you elevate your use of color? You need to choose colors that represent your brand personality. And just a quick one on brand personality. You need to think of your brand as a person. If my brand was a person, how would this person be? Is it joyful? Is it quiet? Is it a luxury brand? Does he have poise? Does he have this? Does he have that? Think of your brand as a person, right? And create your list as long as you want it to be. Then pick 3 to 5 of those things that fully represent your brand. Then find colors that work with that. I mean, it's all the what colors and their representations is all over the internet. You can find that, right? But it starts with this. What is my brand personality? Second of all, make sure you have 2 to 3 main colors and an accent color. Now, main colors are okay. These are the colors I want people to associate with my brand. Accent color is, oh, this is a complementary color. It just makes the design look more balanced and good. Don't use 99 colors for your brand. Pick your main color. Don't use blue today and use red tomorrow. We don't know. Like we can't. It means we can't recognize you when we see you without the logo, right? Help us recognize you. Help us want to work with you. Do you understand? And you do that by being intentional. Then pay attention to contrast when you're using color. And this I specifically put this there because it is very important. When you, for example, this design that you're seeing, I have white text on a dark orange background, right? I have black text on a white background. If you're going to write with if you're going to use light color text, yellow, don't put yellow on white. Don't, don't put red on orange. I mean, in some cases it might work for I have alarms I'm getting, right? Don't stop, don't do that. Do you understand? Rule of thumb, text on bright color, text on background. So something like this, write on a white background, I'll use black text. And goes right on a black background, I'll use light color text. Do you understand? And then learn how to work with complementary colors. We're not going to go into this, but it means basically a lot of sites that help you understand that help you that help you figure out what colors work together, that show you all the color schemes and how colors work together, etc., etc. Right? So you need to do that research by yourself. So moving on. Now, let us talk about fonts. fonts. You see the text we have here, the style of the text is what is called font, right? And a lot of people feel, I mean, so yeah. What comes to your, okay, I have a bit of a, Sam did not do the font I wanted to put here, but we'll work with it. We'll work with this. You see this type of font. When you see this type of, what comes to your mind? Then what comes to your mind when you see this type of, the automatic comes is, oh, it's a feminine thing, it's a feminine brand, and that kind of thing. Then what comes to your mind when you see this last, what in my mind, I don't know what comes to my mind. Let's say looks. So I may use it for a children that has to do with kids, like right. So tells you that font character have character because I like it align with the idea you create scratch. I mean, I put the font I like. Is it in alignment with what your brand represents? Remember that your brand is a personality on its own. It's not you. It is your business brand. Even if it is your personal brand, you need to go back and ask yourself, okay, what does my personal brand represent? And you put it out there. It's not about you. It's about the emotions it evokes. It evokes when people see it, right? Don't you go and use that font that we call childish, and then when you're not a brand that works with kids, and then when people don't take you serious, you're like, I don't know why they're not taking my brand serious. They will not take you serious, right? Because it is not in alignment with what you say you represent. So, meanwhile, like I already explained, your font is a part of your brand identity. Fonts have personalities. Not all fonts work for all situations or emotions. I mean, you want to announce obituary and you're using certain types of joyful, fun fonts. You probably need to ask you questions. Your fonts, and then your font is not readable. I see this a lot of times. People want to use, I'm going to go back here now. People want to use fonts like this, right? We call it script fonts. People want to use fonts like that to write out all their information. It's not legible. We cannot read it. And one important part of your content is that people need to be able to read it at first glance. Just don't make it hard for people. When you make it hard for people, they will quickly scroll. It makes it easy for them to scroll and move on. Because you want to make it hard for me. I mean, it means you probably don't want me to see it. So I move on. I mean, we're cool. We're bros, but I mean, you don't want me to see it. We move. Okay. So how to elevate your fonts, your use of fonts or typography, like the professionals would call it. Use consistent fonts for your brand. Don't use one font today and use another font tomorrow. Don't then next tomorrow you feel like, oh, this font looks so good. I think my mood has changed. I want to use this font. No, consistency is important, right? Then choose your font based on the brand personality. We've talked about that. Pair fonts that work together. Not all fonts work together. And I'm saying this because your headline and the body, like the main text you want to use to explain what you're explaining, might be different. For example, in this design, if you notice, this is my headline, how to elevate your typography. It is different from my body text, which is this text that you are reading, right? And they are different. They work together. Trust me, if I use this headline font for this body font, it will, like, there's this thing it will do to your eyes where your eyes just get strained so much and your eyes get tired, right? So first you need to differentiate your headline from your body fonts. Let me just put that out there. Then next, use fonts that work together. Some fonts will not work together the same way these two fonts have worked. Do you understand? So use fonts that work together. Then make sure you have a headline, like I said. So this is your headline. This is the main topic. A sub headline. So if I had a sub headline, maybe something that explains the headline, then body font, which is the text that you're saying here, and accent font. Now, accent fonts are those fonts you probably want to use for in one or two spaces just to add a little bit of pizzazz or spice to what you're doing. But they're not the type of font you use everywhere. For example, that feminine font I showed you is an accent font that you can use just to complement things once in a while, but it's not the main thing used to communicate. Now, not everybody has a sub-headline font, but the most important ones are your headline, your body, and your accent fonts. Then, please and please don't use more than 3 fonts in one piece of content. Please, 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 please. If you can keep it to 2, awesome, amazing, we love you. Thank you for taking it easy on us. But please don't use more than 3. Like, I don't. What do you want to put that table? When we already explained that all you need is a font for your headline, a font for your body, and a font for your accents. What are you using the fonts for? Please explain to us. So now, to level up your content, I mean, I've already said so much. I said so much within the space of time. Your head is probably bubbling. You're like, how am I supposed to put all of this together? Now, an easy way for you to put all of this, for you to be able to consistently put out for you to elevate, let me use that word, for you to elevate your content. So yeah, consistent with the fonts, the color, all the things I talked about, is for you to create a brand guide. Now, a brand guide is just I don't want to use the word just, it's a piece of documents, that states out your brand element. So you're saying, this and this is from my brand. This is my headline. This is my body font. This is this. Such that anyone who comes, and this is an example, anybody who comes in to work with you knows that, oh, this brand's colors. I can't use this. I can't use any color outside this color, right? And from this sample brand, you see that go deep into even the heck. Now, different codes. Just when you're trying to pick out color and you move your cursor, and now I'm trying to imagine that we've probably used Canva at one point or the other, or we've used another software we had to pick color. When you move your cursor just a little bit to the right, that color has a different code, right? Now, sometimes you might think, oh, my brand color is yellow, so I'm just going to pick yellow. You realize that you're picking different shades of yellow at different points, and then maybe your Instagram feed is looking like pops and bursts of yellow. To stay consistent, you need to go and find out what the code is for that color that you're using, right? And that is what will help you stay consistent. So this is what the sample brand guide looks like. It can be this is a very, very simple one. It can get even more detailed to images that even show the emotions that your brand evoke. But just for the sake of this class, we're keeping it simple. This is what the sample brand guide looks like. It has your colors, it has your headline, your body font, your accent font, and then you also want to include different versions of your logo so that whenever you need to work, you can just go here. You immediately remember, oh, okay, I mean, I'm not going to use this other font because this is what I have decided is my font for my brand. That way you're able to elevate your content, you're able to stay consistent, you're able to build recognition. Because once your brand sees that color with that text, they know, oh, it's this person. I really like this person's content. I should take a look at it again. You're good. I mean, we get the sales, we get the clients, and we're not happy already. So my gift for you, if I mean, you probably couldn't take a screenshot or do stuff, and you want me to send you this sample brand guide. I'm on Instagram, Ore Creates. You just send me a DM, brand guide, and I will send a sample brand guide to you. It's just my gift to you for staying here. I mean, some people decided not to come for the session. You did, so you're welcome. Yeah. So how to elevate your, this is a summary of everything we've talked about from the beginning. I mean, all the things Ore has been yapping about since morning. This is a summary of what that is. Just give me a second. Okay, so oh yeah, so I mean, work with a brand guide. I already explained to you what the brand guide is. Brand guide will help you stay consistent. I mean, if you can turn it into, if you can turn it into, if you can make a rhyme out of it, I work with a brand guide. Just tell yourself I work with a brand guide. When you're tempted, that part of you that wants to be creative is tempted to veer off course. Just tell yourself I work with a brand guide, right? Then, second of all, to elevate your visual content, even if you're the one handling it, if you have a member of the team handling it, take time to observe designs that attract you and notice how they follow the principles. Before you did not know the principles, now you know the principles, right? So start to observe it. For example, ask yourself, what principle did Ore use here? I mean, the moment you start learning and understanding the principles, that is when you can introduce it. So if I was starting out and I wanted to follow the principles, I might move my design here to the left. I mean, to the left, just because I want everything to be on a straight line. And I will be good. And my content will still look good. But I moved this slightly to this place, and I still kept everything on the straight line. So can you see alignment at work here with the with the three forms of text? Can you see a bit of balance? So you have this text here. It's super large, but you have the smaller pieces of text. I mean, they're smaller, it's broken down. I mean, just to introduce a bit of balance. It's not at the center, it's at the side. So those are the tiny. So now, a piece of content, you now start and be like, oh, okay, this look like this, that. Oh, that is, that is this person did, looks the way it is. So, I mean, from now that the principles, how best, them in. So, and the last point of good design, and try to replicate what you see. So, when I scroll through Instagram, even to really like, I take a screen, save it, I add to my collection because I want to be able to use. Maybe I saw something tiny that I like there. I just like the way they shaded something, or I just like something that they put at the corner. I save it because the next time I want to design, I can definitely add that to my design. And my design looks good. Somebody's telling me, "Oh, that piece of content you put out there was just so good. I mean, your design is improving." Well, I have my archive where I have all these amazing designs. Thank you very much. So, yeah. So next, we're moving on to getting started on Canva. I spent a lot of time. We have spent a lot of time together here. So we're just going to make this real quick. So we're supposed to do two things. We're supposed to go through the basics of Canva and go through and also recreate a simple design. So I'm just going forward that next slide I'll show you. We're supposed to recreate speaker flyer for conference, but I'm wondering if your time, you know what, you just can't wait to get out of here. So if you want us to still go into the basics of Canva and you want us to still, talk, try to recreate that design, leave a comment. And so I know that you are here. I know I'm not the only one talking. I know I'm not the only one in this. I know I'm not talking to myself. So leave a comment, and if I see you're interested, we would move. I mean, this is a practical masterclass. I don't want to be teaching myself. I don't talking to myself. So are we game? Should we move on? What do you think? What do you think? Leave a comment. Leave a comment and we move on. Leave a comment and we move on. What do we stop here? Should we move on? I don't know. Oh, okay. Because we should create. I'll try to make the intro We have a few people here that have never really used Canva, got intimidated and moved on almost immediately, like, that is not for me. Let us quickly, let's take a quick look at the Canva platform. What does it look like? How it? So, just give me a second. Give me a second. I want to share my Canva screen with you. Let's do this. So, right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Canva looks like when you get it. Yes. Don't be intimidated. I always tell people when it comes to there, they spend all of their time trying to make things user friendly. So the moment you can read, you can do it. So the first thing you want to do with any tech platform, any platform at all, is read. That is how you get insights into it, right? Read. I like to delve in and try to be the expert, but it's an extreme sport and I get frustrated sometimes. So I'm just going to take you through it. This is what Canva looks like when you get it. This is what the platform looks like. Let's take it from the top. This is the Canva logo. We know what it looks like. You are, this takes you to the homepage. This is the homepage of Canva homepage. There you go. This top section takes us to several templates. Canva is loaded, guys. You can use Canva for almost anything these days. Social media, personal posts, your reels, your TikToks. Canva is your go-to person. Yes, Canva is a human being. I refer to it as a human being. Come and visit me in my house. Next, you have the features. It shows you all the different features of Canva. Canva, you can do more with Canva beyond Canva beyond just this. It platform for apps. I urge you to app after now. I won't be able to go in there. You have the learning platform says it has to go through it. Then Canva, right? Of this class, trust me, is the free. I highly recommend, but for a starter plan here. So that's it for the left-hand side at the top part of Canva. This other side here, you have several options. You can new design for that. On your left hand side, you have the home, which takes you lines where you ask all the you have created. So I want to see all of my created. Recent, show you all the recent designs you have done. I think probably the first 10 or the first few that you have done. Then shared with. Beauty of Canva, I can share a from Canva with some in another location, even another country, and they can get to my design and edit my design without having my so I'll share with you going to be with you. That is where you designs are published with you, and they do so link via a link is that shared with you. Folders, you can divide your Canva for the sake of organization, and then trash. We all know what the trash is for. I'm not going to go into that. Another feature that I'm going to quickly talk about, but I'm not going to go deep into, is Canva Digital's Canva page. That's how you can see Zoldi. It just allows different team members to the Canva account without necessarily having access to the Canva account. So if you work with team members, you have to give them your links, right? You can just invite them out the team and join in. This is majorly for those with the pros and those. And then with Canva, you can have a brand kit. I mean, I have my brand colors. I don't want to start looking for it. It can be, I mean, hallelujah. Before this feature came out, I used to be frustrated, but glory to God, it saved my life. Let's move on. Then you have the content planner, plan your content. Right? Canva is all inclusive. I don't want to say Canva is all you need. I mean, we all need Jesus, but I mean, let's move on. This is better than Canva. I repeat to myself. I mean, I'm not trying to reinforce it. I know Jesus is better than Canva. Let's move on. So here you still have, I mean, Canva is trying to be user friendly. You still have all these features. I mean, they still divide all the templates they have. And guys, templates is one of the best parts of Canva. You have templates to use, templates for almost anything. Anything you want to do, almost anything. Your CV, your birthday card, your, maybe you want to propose to somebody and you want to use a Canva design, social media post, even videos, guys. Canva is for it. And to go, I'm not going to scroll into all the different things that are here, but once you come here, you can search for what you want to create on Canva. So you can create the card. You can put whatever it is. I encourage it very much. And that is our short intro. I'm sorry it's that short. I'm sorry it's that short. I encourage you to use Canva to Vanishon. I feel like it might make it a bit less overwhelming for you to use it, right? So just go back, explore, play. Nobody's beating you. Do whatever you want. It doesn't look good, redo it. Redo it again. It doesn't look good again. Check out the principles and redo it. That is the only way you get better. If it starts to feel frustrating, come to me. All you that are weary and heavy laden, and you shall pay for my class, and I will teach you how to use it on a more personalized level. Anyway, that side. So now that we've explored this, let's go on to what I know you really, really, really want us to do. Let's go on to recreate the design for the flyer, right? Let's go on to recreate the design for the flyer. So please hold on. Let me share my screen. Oh, wow. Time is fast spent. Wow. I have 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see what we can do in 10 minutes. Let's see what we can do. Actually, I've exhausted at 10 minutes. Guys, can we get extra, I don't know, extra 10 minutes to quickly through just 10 minutes, guys. I might rush this, but 10 minutes will be done. Let's quickly try to recreate the flyer for the conference. So let's share. Let me share my screen. Sorry, just give me a second. Let me try to share my screen. Let me just share this window. Okay, so I don't know if you can see my screen. Okay, let me try to redo that because I just got feedback. Now. So let's go home to okay. Okay, so I can see that you can see my screen now. So we're going to do this as fast as possible. This is the Canva interface. We're starting out blank. We want to recreate the flyer for this event. To make things easier, I'm going to import one more. I'm going to import one more flyer that was already done in here. Sorry, you might see a lot of things. Yes, the slides was created on Canva. That is why you have a lot of Canva things here. So just give me a second. So just so we have something to look at. So we might not finish up this design that we're creating, but I just want to take you through the basics of how you can recreate this on your own. So this is the flyer we're recreating, right? Now you can import, Canva has a lot of things you can use within the Canva universe or sphere in itself, but you can also bring things from outside Canva and bring them, your images, whatever, into Canva, right? So to recreate this design, let us start with the background. This image doesn't use a plain background, right? It uses a kind of textured background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our design. I clicked on it now, and I will go to photos, right? I will go to photos on Canva, as you can see here. I'll go to photos and I'll click on white textured background. Knowing how to search Canva is the key, guys. Knowing the keywords to use to find what you want to find is the key to being able to utilize Canva to the best of it. I might not be able to exact key background, although there's a way to find out. Oh yeah. So if I click on this page, right, generally I put my cursor where I can see the background. At the top section, certain options will show up. There's this eye icon here with the circle around it. If you can see my cursor, it is info. Now, what that does is that it can actually show me the source of that background. And I use this a lot. When I see a design, maybe a Canva template, and I want to use that thing, but I can't find it, I go and find it. So it shows me that it was uploaded. So meaning I can't find it within Canva. So we're just going to use something that is available within Canva. So we're going to use this. Now I'm stretching. This is how it comes in. I'm going to stretch it to fill the entire screen, right? And when it fills the entire screen, I leave it. Now, next thing on this part is the human being, which is me. So now uploaded this on Canva. And to upload some of our, just come here to this part that says upload media at the top left corner, where you have under uploads, on the left hand side of panel of Canva, you have all of these options. I can click on upload. Once I click on upload, it will show me all the things I've uploaded, or it will allow me upload something. This was already uploaded before the class, so we could use it. So we're just going to have that and put it at the corner of the page. It looks bigger, so we expand and we leave this here. Fine. So the thing is, we have this thing here that has my name on it. We're going to go to element where you find shapes and everything within Canva. So we're going to go and sorry. We're going to go to elements. For some strange reason, elements is refusing to load. I think my network is trying to tell me that it's time. My network is trying to tell me that it's time. Just try to be as fast as possible. Like I said, we won't do everything. Well, let's just go through the basics. So I clicked on shapes right now, and it's showing me all the shapes available on Canva. So I'm going to scroll and till I find what I want. Now, using Canva is about being flexible. You will not, when you see something on a person's Canva design, you won't exactly see what you want. Most times you would have to manipulate that thing. Like the way this looks, I'm sure it doesn't look like this, right? But I'm going to manipulate it now to make it look like that. So I'm going to shrink it and elongate it. Shrink it and make it longer till it becomes what I want it to be. And I think that's become that. Right. So, oh, okay, it's the other direction. So let's move it. Let's move it. Let's move it. Let's move it. So it is that. It is what we want it to be. But what is missing? The color. So once you click on it, once you click on the element that you picked, in this case the shape, the square here, you have an option at the top left area. So if you notice, when we click out, when that thing is not selected, we don't have that option. But once we click on it, it brings up the color box. So what we do here is that we come to select the color we want. So like I told you, Canva has a lot of with Canva you can save your brand colors. In this case, Zolt Academy's brand colors are already saved. We have a lot of brand colors already saved here, guys. So I pick the color I want and I put it in here. See, simple, easy, capiche. We are making progress, guys. We're making progress. Then the next thing is that we want to put in this, and what we're going to do now is that we're going to put in our topic, and then we're going to put in our date, and put in our logo, and call it a day. So the next thing is we want to put in this topic. So I want to tell you one secret. One secret I'll probably not tell anybody else. You might not find this thing. You see this shape, might not necessarily find it on Canva. So like I said, Canva is a lot of manipulations, right? So I like this. I want to use it. I can't find that shape on Canva. Here's what I do. I'm going to take this again. I'm going to do something else. Just watch me closely. I reduced the size of this shape to what I want it to be. And sometimes the thing might be available, but you might not just know the right keyword to find it, right? So I have one half. What I do is I will duplicate it by clicking on Control D. So when you select something and you click on Control D, it duplicates that thing. It will give you an exact replica of that thing, right? So 90 degrees. Yeah, so you also have to manipulate the angle that things stand on. And then, ta-da! Okay, I'm going to shape this a little bit. I'm going to shape this a little tiny bit. And yeah, there you have it. So can you tell the difference? So here's the thing: you might not always find what you want on Canva. It's creativity, it's manipulation, right? Manipulate things into what you want them to be. There's no hard and fast rule to this. Now, if I don't want this thing to move, maybe I'm scared of somebody coming here and moving it. What I'll do is I will select it. You see, the same way you select your text in Microsoft Word, or you select it in whatever other software that you use, that you have to click on your screen and drag. That's the same way you select. Now, once you select two things on Canva, at the top area, it gives you the option to group. So group means I am joining you together with a plaster, with glue, and what's going to happen is that you're going to be inseparable from now on. So once I click on group here, tada, it becomes one. So officially, these two things are married. So yeah, I mean, I can edit them separately, but if you want to move it around, you won't be able to move on. So you know what? I think at this point we have gone really far, and I think you understand the basics of this. So how about we do something? How about you go on, use your image, replicate this, and send it to me in a DM, and who knows, I might be able to give you a bit of feedback, or you know what? I will do my best. I will give you feedback on how best to work around this. Time is really fast spent, and I really, 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 really want to give you guys a challenge, right? I don't want to do everything for you guys. Come to think about it, so you don't have to have the Zolt logo. You have a logo, right? You have a logo. You have other things like that. Come in on Canva and try to recreate this. Try to recreate this. If you have problems like, oh, um, I have a problem with removing background, send me a DM. Or I just want to see you put in the work. I've shown you the basics. I've shown you how creative you can be. I've shown you what you can do. Recreate this and send it to me. Send it to me. Send it to me on Instagram. I'm Orecreate. Send it to me. I am going to give you a response. That is my promise to you. That is my promise to you. Where can you find these graphics? You can find it on the Zolt Academy page. Do a screenshot and then go onto Canva and do your thing. Go onto Canva and do your thing and let me know. Go onto Canva and do your thing. So I stopped sharing my screen now. Oh, that was oh. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sorry. So that was it. So how was the masterclass, guys? How was the masterclass? I mean, that was a long time. I didn't realize that I would be stuck for that long. To be honest with you, how was the masterclass? I would like to hear your feedback. What do you think? What did you learn? What was the high point for you? What was it like for you? Did you learn something? Is this something you want to go and try? Let me know. Wow. It took me 3 days to figure this thing out. Already true inside the ocean, I told you to say. Okay. So go home, try it out. I'm Aura Creates, like I said. There's Aura Creates on Instagram, and I will give you feedback. I will give you feedback. I will give you feedback. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Yeah. So apparently I'm the last speaker for today. I mean, how was the session? How was the session? How was the session? How was all the sessions? I mean, collectively, how was it for you? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun? Did you learn something? I mean, Emily's session was it for me? Emily's session was it for me? I learned to think like a brand from the scratch. I think my own personal lesson, let me share with you guys. My own personal lesson was not to try to copy someone's strategy. Video might work for somebody, maybe it doesn't work for me. So, well, can I what's the name? Can I use text instead? I mean, to build that brand. Like, what can I do? What can I do? What works for me? I don't have to use what works for somebody else. I mean, just so insightful. Like today's sessions, I mean, I'm just going to go home and sit down and think. I have notes. Do you understand? So, I mean, it was fire for me. It was insightful. It was thought provoking. Like, I know, even for my own personal brand, I know I worth more than $1. Definitely worth more than $1. I mean, where would you get this for $1? I don't charge $1 for my coaching session. Hallelujah. I don't charge $1. This is where you would get everything at this price. So I'm just so glad that you got all this value. Please send us a DM with your definitely go try it. Please try it out. Send us a DM with your feedback, with your aha moments. Just share it with us. We want to hear. We want to know. There's no way we can know you were impacted if you do not share it with us. And I've switched from Ore Canva personal to Ore working at Zolt Academy. To Ore from Zolt Academy, right? So thank you for joining us today. On behalf of Kiva, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your time. Please join the stream again tomorrow by 9:30. If you have friends that did not join in today who registered, tell them to join in tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to get hotter. Like you line up for tomorrow is like it's so amazing. Then if anyone has not paid, yeah, if you know someone who hasn't joined, who hasn't even registered, let them know that they should register. I know we had a lot of I know these sessions have been a hit back to back. So if they've impacted you, please tell someone. Don't be the only one enjoying this. And sometimes telling someone is not the same thing as them coming to experience it by themselves, right? So 2 days to sit down, refresh, get insights for their business is not too much. Sometimes that's the jet fuel you need to propel your business to the next level. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you everyone for attending. I hope you would go back to your notes, read it up, come up with strategies, think of your purpose, create a plan for exiting your 9 to 5, or decide if you know what you're an enabler. You are the person who wants to help someone with their vision because you feel attached to it. Decide, the strategies you want to employ in building your brand. And by all means, please, don't keep your business traditional. It can go wide. It can increase your sources of income. And then finally, try out the Canva design. Thank you so much for your time. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. See you tomorrow, same time, 9:30. Bye.